Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
I hope your weekend was good. Mine was good, and a lot of issues came up. Today is Monday, and today we continue in our fast for the Lenten period. And as my parish priest, Reverend Father Emmanuel Feni, would say, you need to hold on and you need to do the 5 things really that are connected with the fast. Like Reverend Emmanuel Feni would say, my parish priest, do good, forgive, and a lot of charity and all of that. This morning, I want to submit to you and through all our affiliates across the country that I showed you some images, some footages, visuals from the Ankafo maximum prison. And I told you that people who had gone past the age that was required for recruits had been put there and they were being trained secretly. And their passing out ceremony was supposed to happen 2 weeks ago. It didn't happen because I spoke about it. Their phones were seized from them because all those people who were put out there, if you have any child who desires to have joined the Ghana Armed Force, the Ghana Police, and the Ghana Prison Service, and the same thing is happening in many different security institutions. They didn't see the public advertisement. 2 weeks ago, they were supposed to have graduated after just training for about a week or 2. Thanks to what we did, their phones were seized from them. They have not been passed out. That grand ceremony had not been held so that somebody will come and make an empty speech. They have been sent home. But they forget that when our people deal with them. And when they give them the uniforms, we will show you. The way we are dealing with security issues in this country. And then when we finish, we come and spend money and pick ambassadors and say, Operation See Something, Say Something. The do something is missing. Operation See Something. Operation Say Something. Operation Do Something. Where is it? The doing, the what, the call. You are calling me to action. To achieve what purpose? Operation See Something, Say Something. What are you going to do about what I say and what I've seen? What I have seen, what I see, and what I say. What are you going to do about it? Ask Mr. Kandapa, our National Security Minister. Ask Dominic Nitiwo, our Minister for Defense. Ask Henry Quartey, our Minister for Interior. Ask the President himself. Operation See Something, Say Something. What are you doing about what I'm saying? The intention is not to say and do anything about what you are saying. The intention is paranoia. They are paranoid. That's the intention. Because if it was not the case, you wouldn't be putting overage people. They publish in the newspapers, they tell you to be a recruit, you must be within a certain age range, you must be of a certain height, you must have a certain qualification. I've showed you videos. The people I showed you, some of them when you see them, you know they are all dwadi, right from scratch. And I have the details. I'm waiting for somebody to just say, I don't have the details. Then I'll put the details out. That's how I do my work. I like to put the details out there like that. It's a shame. And I tell you what, in the coming years, you will see the kind of insolence. We have already started seeing it where a corporal is telling a chief superintendent of the police that you didn't recruit me, you didn't hire me, you cannot order me about. A corporal is telling a chief superintendent of the police. And it was even being videoed. He saw that it was being videoed. He didn't care. Because Elenona Kele, Onimyayaka Cheno. Ele. There's one old man who has reached the age of retirement. He went before the Public Accounts Committee. He's in charge of ICO in the north. He doesn't want to go home. And he keeps telling, put his picture up there, he keeps telling the people that Dr. Libam, and he keeps telling the people that he will not go home. He will not leave. And there are many of his kind out there. Put his picture up there. There are many of his kind out there who will tell people that you cannot sack me before. There's one of such in the Ghana Prison Service. Is it the director of operations? I say, you wait. Go ahead, do what you want to do. When the powers that be who are protecting you leave, the documents I have on you, while your uniform is off and the pegs are off your shoulder, You will feel it. This gentleman has gone past 60. He went before the Public Accounts Committee. They asked him when he reached 60. He mentioned his age, like Dr. GRA, Dr. Amis Aidai, GRA. And then they asked him if he had been given a contractual extension, contrary to what was written to us and signed by Abinal Seasare, Deputy Finance Minister, in August 2022, 5th August. He said, yes, they should put that question to the board. I've shown you letters of when the HR at his organization wrote to him and I lettered him that his retirement is due. Human Resource Management staff, they wrote to him that his retirement is due. He himself, all right, he requested for an extension. Mr. Brian Champo, Minister for Agri, wrote to him and said that we cannot give you 2 years extension because Brian Champo is alert to what the cabinet of the Republic of Ghana agreed. So they said we're going to give you 3 years, 3 months extension. And the 3 months ended on the 7th of March. He's supposed to go home. He's still at post today. Then they will mass up and come and tell young people that they don't like work. They are not serious. Old people like this. And when you talk, they say, oh, you're attacking old people. I'm not attacking old people. If somebody had not retired for them to have gotten in, how would they have gotten the experience to rise to the top? Dr. Ligibam Icon. He said he will not leave office unless it is by force. So now we have to do it by force because this is constitutional, number one. Number two, it was a cabinet decision taken by President Akufo-Addo and his cabinet ministers that post-retirement contract was going to be a thing of the past unless we cannot find somebody who can do the job that you are doing. I didn't write those things. I didn't write those things. I was just a little boy in primary school when the Constitution was promulgated and written. I was just a small boy. We have not changed the Constitution. So if you are a relative of this man, please call him and tell him that he needs to go home to go and play with his grandchildren. He's on our screen now. He needs to know that young people need to get in. He needs to know that staying at the top is choking the top. And this is to all retirees who are still at post. Go home, please. We beg you. We beg you. Go home. Let the young people of this country have work to do. Our unemployment rate it keeps rising. Young people are in trouble. Please go home. And speaking of young people, look, play the videos from the Ghana
Johnny's
games
right.
back to back. But before that, there are two individuals I want to celebrate. Winifred Ntumi.
Johnny's
She was the
right.
first to give us 1 gold medal and 2 silver medals from the Africa Games. Winifred Ntumi, the weightlifter. Put a picture up there. Fantastic lady. In spite of everything. And she decided that she was going to win gold and 2 silver for us. And then there's Abeku Jackson. He's a swimmer. And I want to say thank you to Kwesi Ako on Facebook for that Abeku photograph. Abeku, he's a swimmer. Kwesi Ako, thank you very much. He shot this photo for us. Abeku, he won silver. Now, listen to the testimony of the Ghanaian artist, the athlete. Listen to them. Listen to them.
Johnny's right.
I'm feeling it around 16 men doubles, and I'm going to deliver for you guys. Although you guys have not supported us, the equipment that we got didn't even come. The times we really have nobody has trained the equipment, nothing. The rackets, nothing. The racket I used to play a tournament. I got to just a day. And I've never tested it. The shoe I was size 47. They gave me 36. How am I going to use it for? We don't sit today, we come to play our matches. We sat in our coach's vehicle and it was a pickup. So most of us, like 8 players, were in the bucket. We didn't get any transport. We host nation, Ghana, they're bomb, buying.
So, first answer in the bicycle. Bicycle, you see,
I am saying yes, a toy. And I am before the end of the buy and running I 5. I am saying I don't know pay about I'm holding out the pay. Although telling a super aqua. Or calling him now, then I was on for one morning for a morning. Wish I had a fire separate. The big guy that I'm going to say yes, I was on plan, your mom said, I said, you're going to find it. Find it. Now, just said, probably
today, I said, no, I champion for
champion for so we told me you share can I say. No more and said, ain't no bicycle. That's it, yeah, neighbor countries, this somewhere. You know, yeah, chin, yeah, BBI, old road chin. And then I added the oil film service.
Johnny's Bite.
So I want to do this video to clarify what I'm saying. The riders have been this way for the past 15-20 minutes. There is no ambulance to begin the race, and in cycling without ambulance, the race cannot be effective. So you can just imagine all the officials are worried. These are the officials, the PCP, and all the officials who can actually make the race happen, and the police and everybody here. Everybody is worried and disturbed. Ambulance service needs to be here for the race to commence, and there's no ambulance here. Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Oh my Lord.
Johnny's Bite.
So these are some of the troubling and worrying and disturbing videos. Cyclists and athletes have not had an experience with new equipment. They didn't receive any. There was no proper training. They are using their old equipment. And you heard the athlete, the rider, she said, we're using our aluminum bikes when the people we are competing with are using fiber bicycles. We sat in the bucket of a pickup of our coach. My boot size is size X. I was given size Z1. And you hear all these things. Lights go off twice. And the lights, when the lights go off these days, they say it's not Dumsor. Okay. They say it's Dumsor. Okay. I think that what happened at Cape Coast Stadium and what has been happening all through is called Dumsor. It's called the lights that go off and come back on without any announcement, without timetable. It's called Dumsor. Because I'm sure the government and the people in the authority will think that, oh, it's Dumsor. It's not Dumsor. It's not Dumsor. It's Dumsor. What we have now is Dumsor. What be work I can buy you? Dumsor. And you find all these things happening. A common ambulance. And you remember that somebody died. Somebody's wife died in Fijai. Right? Because the ambulance came and they were demanding for fuel. The ambulance service was not there. And we have a local organizing committee. They are going to be paid allowances. They're going to be paid money. We have spent millions of Ghana cedis that we are not supposed to have. And sometimes you ask yourself, were we ready for this? What was the intention? Was the intention to go and contest to win medals, or was the intention to go and just show face? Because if you want people to go and win medals, like Intumi and Jackson have done, you would actually empower them to win medals, to be like Egypt that has won over 50 medals. In our case, we actually beat the people down, we frustrated, humiliate them, and then we ask them to go and compete. That's what we do to the young people in this country. We don't give them jobs. Those who want to make a mark on their own, We beat them down, we frustrate and humiliate them. That's what we do to young people in this country. Then we expect patriotism and volunteerism from them. It will not happen. Meanwhile, the people who are part of the local organizing committee and so disrespectfully, like what the government does to us, they have not even written a common statement to apologize. The so-called local organizing committee, after spending so much of our money, the so-called local organizing committee, they have not even had the decency to write a common statement to apologize for all of what is happening. Lights are going off twice in our opening match. Fans had to put on their phone lights. Cycling match, no ambulance. Cycler, no proper bicycle. They said that, and even there was even one other who said that, when they start, as soon as they started the cycling race, his tube got burst, so he had to pull out. What a shit! How else can we embarrass ourselves? How else can we? Maba was sure when you shinakai. But didn't see a How else do we? How else can we? How else more can we embarrass ourselves? How else can we do that? And then when they say, oh, you are not saying anything nice about the government, you are saying all these negatives because you want to bring down the government. The lights that went off, is it my mother or my late father who went to put it off? As they ask in local parlance. Was it Johnie Hughes who went to put it off? The equipment that was not provided for the athletes, was it me who prevented them or precluded them from having access to those? The usage of their own old or obsolete equipment, was it me who encouraged them to do that? The boots that didn't fit onto their feet, right? We know that they were size 40 something. We give them size 30 something. Was it me? I'll show you another example. I'll go back to 2022. My good friend Dennis Miracles Abuaji, he's the spokesperson for the Baumia campaign. He's also a presidential staffer and former MC for Ekwapim North. Listen to him when I asked him about NAPCO. At the time, NAPCO was just owed 4 months. Today, NAPCO is owed more than 9 months or so, and they have not been paid many years on. Listen to him.
Johnny's Bite.
It is complete dishonesty. It is insincerity for anybody to even try to compare where we are now to where we found ourselves in 2016 and say that it was better than now. We have made.
Are you saying we are better now?
Yes,
than we were
comparatively. And those are the things.
Let's go to the
Allow him, please.
Sorry, please.
Allow him, please.
Thank you.
So you are saying that we are in a better place now than we were in 2016.
Every single thing that affects a Ghanaian, me, and a young person at home, we are better off, including even the unemployed. And let me come to the famous NAPCO guys. Even the NAPCO guy today, who is owed by government for 4 months, is better off than it was in 2016 because in 2016, this morning, he was home sleeping and wondering who even owes him to go and chase the person after.
NAPCO beneficiary
yes,
better off.
Yes, because today, at least the NAPCO beneficiary is on a certain list. The government is owing him for 4 months. When I have someone owing me, I am better off than being in so much poverty that I haven't even had anything to do with for the person to owe me.
Have you seen the letter that the
sorry. It's just a point.
I asked you a question too. Have you seen the letter that the meteorological agency wrote? They say those NAPCO beneficiaries who are not coming to work, if opportunities come, they will not be considered. The guys are also saying we don't have money to transport ourselves to and from work. And you say they're in a better place.
Johnny, I will not digress. My point I am making on NAPCO is that in 2016, if I am a young Ghanaian that has graduated, had no job, I was part of an association of unemployed graduates.
Right.
Between 2017 and now, I have been working and being given some stipend, albeit it's small. And as it stands now, I have worked and government owes me 4 months. Anybody watching me that is fair-minded and objective would know that as it stands now, I have Government owing me about 2,800 Ghana cedis, which means that I am far better off compared to 2016 that by this time, I have not even been able to hold a cutlass for someone to owe me 30 cedis, for me to even have a premise to go after.
So, for my good friend Dennis Abuaji, government owing NAPCO people puts them in a better place. And in fact, the whole country is in a better place than we used to be. What they complained about in opposition. You see what young people have been commissioned to do to young people. That's why the old people will call us coconut heads and they will not see what is good for us. He said, government owing you is good. At the time where the NAPCO beneficiaries were owed just 4 months. Today, how many months are they owed? And how long has it been since they were last owed? Today, when the government talks about achievements and employment, the president doesn't talk about NAPCO. The vice president doesn't say, the chief of, nobody in government mentions NAPCO because it has become an embarrassment. Operation Clean Your Frontage. Have they been paid? Youth in afforestation. Have they been paid? Those in what do you call it? All those schemes, have they been paid? The youth of this country are watching, and it's sad how we treat the energy of the society. And sometimes you find some very old people say, "Oh, not tree." If we had money,
I know the owners of all.
If we had money, and we know where to put the money, would we be having such conversations? He said we are in a better place than we used to be. Is that a reality? This was in 2022, January of 2022, when I was on TV3 New Day, before I was moved here to 3FM Sunrise. January 2022. Are we in a better place? Are we really in a better place? Play the last video for me. Honorable MP for Bekwai. Play the video, Joe Usu.
Johnny's Bite.
My first term, I was a member of the Appointments Committee. Honorable E.T. Mensah invited myself, Honorable Napo, Honorable Atachia for lunch in his house. He also said something. He says, here, at the airport I live, I know the owners of all the houses around here. The politicians who own property here, I can count them on one finger. All the other properties are owned by directors, chief directors, director of this. And yet we, politicians, we accuse one another of corruption. We attack one another, and the public and civil servants click together and they laugh all the way to the bank, whilst we call one another thieves. He said, remember, in this political situation, today you are in power, tomorrow you are out of power. Let's support one another in time of need. We have failed our brother. I'm sure there are many others around us who we know we could have supported better. Let us not leave that responsibility. Nobody, like Honorable Muntaka said, nobody cares about you after here. They need you only when they have an emergency. They need you only when they want admission to an institution. They need you only when they want financial support. Once they have gotten that, you can go to hell.
That's the Honorable Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Jose Usu, MP for Bekwai. And I find the statements he had made emotional. They are looking out for themselves. But the question is, how are they looking out for the people of the Republic of Ghana? If we had systems properly working, would we need a member of parliament to go and intervene for us to have academic admission or admission into a school? If we had fixed our system well, Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Speaker, and all those big people who travel out of this country to go and seek medical care, whether in South Africa, India, Germany, whatever it is, the E.T. Mensah that he mentioned died in South Africa. He didn't believe in the system here after being mayor and being member of parliament. And being a member of the Council of States that advises the president. He didn't believe in the system we have here. He went to South Africa. So those of us, Kweku Menu, Eni Ayite, who queue to go and vote for our members of parliament who cannot afford to buy plane tickets when we are ill, where do we go? Is it the Kolebu that is being run down? Or the Konfanoche that has 1.5 dialysis machine? Or the other hospitals that are in a very deplorable state? Or the Akuse hospital, government hospital that has not had doctors in more than 3 or 4 months? Where do we go? So they are always looking out for themselves. Remember that when the MP from Fansman Kwanzaa, my friend, was killed, that was when they came and they said, all MPs need police guards. And we gave them police guards. The people of the Republic who queued to vote for them, have they given us police guards? People are still being killed. Ahmed Swale, killed. Many other people, killed. So they are always looking out for themselves. We elect them. We give them loans for their cars. We pay them ex gratia. We take care of their accommodation, their feeding, their everything. He says nobody cares about them. Why? What we do for them, it doesn't count. It doesn't count. That is the level of selfishness that we have in this country. Do you honestly think that if we had fixed our hospitals to be at the highest rate, anybody or somebody or whoever would want to travel outside the country? Kamala Harris will come and receive treatment at Kolebu Teaching Hospital. For where? For here or for there? Kamala Harris. Joe Biden. But we have our people going there because shamefully they know that they have not maintained and kept up to a certain standard. The facilities. Kolebu Teaching Hospital. It was built in 1923 by the colonialists. They said that, well, at the time, they used to transport their people who came here to serve and who came to colonize us, and all of those things. They used to send them out there on the ship. It took time. Some of them died while they were in transit. So they said they were going to have their version of their hospital that they have there in Europe here so that they can take care of their people. Today, go to Kolebu. It's almost a graveyard. Kolebu, it is almost a graveyard. And then you gather money and you are able to go and receive treatment in Germany, in Switzerland, in Holland, in America, in UK, in wherever. And then you come and tell us that nobody cares about you. Where did you get the money from? Because we knew some of you before you got into power. Where did you get the money from? Where did you suddenly get the money from? Is it not the people's own money? Good morning.
PENDREAM TV now, so far so good. Say open online portal e wo Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.